What's up, Boog City? I'm Nicole Callahan, and I'm going to read you some true stories. True story with Liger. At Portmanteau, I have taken off all my clothes and am swimming with the Ligers. They were jackalopes to me, but now the sun flares and the melded world welcomes me. After the pragnesia, I lost count of my losses. What are we if we have no mind? If we are only glamping in these bodies and are neither glitz of heart nor smog of soul, then are we? Do you know what it means to be free? Sometimes I think if I became a vidiot, I would find peace. If only I would let the television save me, it would. Still, I resist, me and my sport with my spork. Irregardless of whether I am being redonkulous, I need you to trust my attempts. If we had all the language in the world, what could we make with it? If I had all the words and you knew all the words, then would I have you and you me? Or would we only have the same desire for more? If we, and with we I am already starting the collapse, if we collapsed and combined all the words, those rockabillys of demolition, frankincense of netizens, and terabangs of guesstimates, would we be any closer? The horizon is an asymptote, is the horizon. See the shadow of our bodies there, you as me as Liger, we. In closing, please send foreign words and cheap wine. I am getting dangerously close to understanding. True story with goat. My husband says you can drop a goat on the moon, come back 5 years later, and it'll still be kicking around. Tough fuckers, he says. I gnaw on a sheet of cardboard while he talks. The nickel moon shines on the little bed of newspaper and dandelions I've made in the corner. What you likely don't know about me is that my intestines are composed of catgut and used to make internal human stitches and the strings of musical instruments, meaning I will play you a song while I heal your secret wound. When we married, I said I do with my slit-shaped pupils, and he promised to never remove my horns to make spoons. But you know how time is. It's got a 4-chambered stomach. The point, he says, is that goats don't need shit to live. He clings what was once mine into a cereal bowl, and I bury my head into his thigh, bleeding, which sounds like a screaming human, but is really just the only way I know how to make sound. True story with dolphin. My mother wanted to be a dolphin trainer. I'm not even sure how much she knew about dolphins because all of her childhood stories are about going to the mountains. When Eva was little, there was a quarter ride in front of the bodega that was shaped like a dolphin. Kristen used to say I make mothering look easy, but then she wondered if maybe from sunrise to sunset, I do nothing but drop quarters and clap my hands together and say, "Ride 'em, girl," or whatever it is I say. When we were in our 20s, I'd lay my head in Kristen's lap for long periods of time, and she'd tell me everything will be okay. There was also a time when we were in Puerto Rico drinking sweaty beers and poorly performing karaoke that we pretended we were evolving. We crawled out of the ocean on our bellies, and then we moved to our knees, and then we walked, and we said over and over, evolution, 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 which made me laugh for 100 years, which is why I am laughing still. All of the people who train dolphins will one day be dead. I don't even know that they train dolphins anymore. Do they? True story with horse. In the dream, you came to me. The barn was a barn I fell asleep in as a child or drove by years later, milky-eyed from days of road, or it was just the grasses where a barn once stood before the fire tore through. Do you remember the fire? There is so much to consider and reconsider. In the dream, you cracked me open with your fingers and ran your thumbs across the wound I am. The sky of the dream was a dream sky. Under it, we swelled and swallowed as the gnats flew into our eyes and the flies buzzed our ears. From the well of you, I drank and drank until drunk on sweet grasses and rainwater on the skin of the inside of your wrist, the glass tin pails, horses of copper, and if I had not dreamed all this, I would be sure it was a dream, and my sleeping child self under rafters and wool would turn and settle, and hours later, waking, she wouldn't remember anything for decades. True story with giraffe. Ella was coloring the most beautiful abstract thing I have ever seen. I said, "That is the most beautiful abstract thing I have ever seen." "No, Mama," she said, "it's a giraffe." "Of course it is. Those eyes, those ossicones, those spots." I am often mistaking things. My mother for a saint, strangers for familiars, my husband for a manhole. One morning, I walked in to teach my 8 a.m. class, and my students were electrons. I traced their particles in the light. You ping a loop. If you trace something for long enough, it makes you dizzy. You lose it in the double slit. Even with the clouds, I do this. I point to them and say, "That looks like a ship." And then suddenly, I am halfway across the Atlantic. My stepfather clangs his spoon against a glass. The pool is cold. The captain is kind. If things were what they first appeared, then nothing would be as it is. Thank you. Take care. Read poems, write poems,